Om 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 Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. ओम सदाशिव समारंभां शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वंदे गुरु परंपरां. समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं. ओम व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः. बोलिए श्री वेदव्यास भगवान की जय. हरि ओम. We are into the 24th episode of Vision of Vedanta. We are looking into this beautiful text called Prashnottari Ratna Malika. It's a musical form of the question and answer between the Guru and the disciple, written by Adi Sankaracharya ji. The previous verse we saw was 13th verse. Yeah. 13th verse was Vishad Visham Kim Vishaya Samastaha. The 14th verse Sarva Swavastha Swapi Kim na karyam Kim va vidheyam Vidusha prayatnat Sneham cha papam Pathanam cha dharmam Samsara moolam hi Kimasti chinta. There are 4 questions and 4 answers in the first 3 lines, and then there's another 1 question and answer in the 4th line. Sarvasu avasthasu api kim na karyam, meaning there is 1 question, 2 questions with 4 answers. Sarvasu avasthasu api kim na karyam kim va vidheyam vidusha prayatnat. In all periods of time, what we should not do and what the learned person is one who knows the true self, and then he is striving to abide in that. Prayatnat, with effort, what the learned person should know. Sneham cha papam sarvasu avasthasu api kim na karyam. What we should not do at all periods of time. Sneham cha papam. Sneham means having attachment with people, friends, family. Attachment means not doing our work responsibly and not discharging our responsibilities. Not that. Attachment means having special likes and dislikes for people around us, and those likes and dislikes are going to be binding, and they will bind us to that person, the object or situation. Sneham is from the word snihya. Snihya means unctuous. Unctuous means sticky. When you touch honey or when you touch something sticky, it just sticks. We just stick to that. No? In the same way, if we have undue or undesired likes and dislikes towards people, we will stick to those people, and because we stick to them, we cannot be free. The mind will not be free. The mind will constantly be thinking on those objects, thinking on those persons and situations, and we will never have peace. Sneham. So sneham, be friendly to all. There is a very beautiful English proverb. Be civil to all, sociable to many, friend to one, and enemy to none. So sneham cha papam. Papam is always, at all periods of time, avoid sinful activities. Sinful activities means activities for which I expend a lot of my mental energy and my physical energy, and that is not going to give me any good in in living a very contemplative life, and it is not going to help anybody in society also, which is a papa karma. If I do those actions, then my mind will not be at peace. If How do I know if some action is sinful? If my mind is not at peace after doing a particular action, if my mind is agitated, if my mind is propelled into more action, more disturbance, and the body is also moved into more action and more disturbance because of that, it is a sinful action. So, avoiding sinful actions, avoiding sneham or attachment. Kimva vidheyam vidusha prayatnat. What should a person know and do with great efforts? Patanam cha dharmam. Patanam means constantly striving to study, read, something that's very uplifting for the mind, something that keeps the mind tuned towards the higher. Not reading anything that is very exhilarating or exciting, or that is very dull, or seeking something very negative through our books and what we read. Patanam means reading books or reading from the Puranas, the Itihasas, from the Prakarana Granthas, from the Upanishads, so that our mind is tuned towards the higher. Patanam cha dharmam. Constantly do dharmic activities with our five sense organs of action. We express in the world by doing dharmic activities, meaning by doing activities that is for the general good of the world and general good of the individuals around us. Patanam cha dharmam. Kimva, then sneham cha papam, that should be avoided. Patanam and dharmam should be done. Then there's another question. Samsara moolam hi kim asti. What is the root of samsara? If we want to avoid being in the cycle of shoka, moha, bhaya, which is called samsara. Shoka means grief, moha means delusion, and bhaya means fear. If we want to be not to be in that cycle of shoka, moha, bhaya, then we should not have chinta. We should not have worry. The Bhagavad Gita, the whole thought process of Bhagavan Sri Krishna is about why we should not have worry. It begins with Arjuna's worry, which is the Arjuna Vishada Yoga, or Arjuna's sorrow, or Arjuna's grief, or Arjuna's delusion, Vishada. And the delusion is caused by a focus on not doing action which he is supposed to do, which he is required to do in that moment. So that is the cause of his delusion. So to remove that delusion from his mind, Bhagavan Sri Krishna talks him out of it. So he begins his conversation with Arjuna in the first line, Ashocyan Anvashochastvam. Ashocyan. Shocha means worry. Worry. You are worrying about what you don't need to worry about. And then you're talking Prajnavadamsha Bhashase. You're talking like a very wise man, as if you know everything. But what are you doing? You're talking something, but your mind is expressing worries. You are giving out something consciously, but subconsciously and unconsciously something else is coming out of you. And what is coming out of you? Worry is coming out of you. And what are you worried about? People who are living and people who are dead and gone. You don't need to worry about either of them. Gatasun agatasumscha na anushochanti panditaha. The wise people don't worry about those who are living. Those who are living, they can manage their lives in whatever means, whatever ways, whatever situations they have. They know how to take care of themselves because the very precious life that is supporting them is there with them. So that life and that consciousness will give them the right thoughts, right energy, right power to overcome any situation. So you don't need to worry about them. Agata sumsya, there is no point in worrying about them because that life force is not there, and so they are incapable of any action at all. And so you don't need to worry about them because there is no life in the body and nothing needs to be done. Everything will be taken care of for that person. Gatasun, agatasumscha, na anushochanti panditaha. And the last verse of the Bhagavad Gita ends with don't worry. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarva papebhyaha moksha ishyami mashuchaham. Papa is sin or the vasanas or impressions in our mind. They are in our intellect because of the actions that we have done in the past, in our past lifetimes, and in this present lifetime also. The impressions of those actions are there. And the impressions are there in the intellect, and those impressions are constantly giving us thoughts. These impressions are like beliefs. They give us emotions. The emotions give rise to thoughts. Thoughts give rise to action. Actions bring results, and the impressions become deeper. That particular impression will give only that particular action to do, and that particular action will deepen that particular impression. So it is a cycle when those impressions get deepened. So these impressions are our sins. So Bhagavan Shri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, surrender your sarva dharman parityajya, all your responsibilities, all your duties, surrender them to me, offer them to me, which means the self in one, the self in all, offer it to me. I will take everything and clear your intellect of all those vasanas where you will cease to be doing the wrong actions anymore. You will begin to do the right actions, and those right actions will in turn remove all the vasanas, all the impressions, and by my grace, everything shall be fine. So don't worry, is the end of the Bhagavad Gita. So samsara moolam hi kimasti. What is the root of samsara? Chinta is the root of samsara. So Bhagavad Gita is a text that removes the cause for samsara. And the Bhagavad Gita, the teaching begins with don't worry for what you don't need to worry, and ends with don't worry. And so if we remove worry from our life, there is no samsara. There are many books that talk to us about not worrying, but the Bhagavad Gita is a wonderful treatise which gives us the recipe for not worrying. So he says, Mat karma krit mat paramaha mad bhakta sanga varjitaha nirvaira sarva bhuteshu yas samameti pandava. In many chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, the recipe for not worrying is given. Do offer your actions unto me, and then surrender to me. Surrender to me means the self. The self that is the cause for the sustenance of this body, the mind, and the intellect. The self in one, that is a self in all. Surrender all your actions, all your thoughts, all your emotions, all your beliefs to me. Offer it to me. I will take it. Mat paramaha. Always Keep me as your ideal, as your goal, your highest ideal in life. Mad bhaktaha, remain devoted to me. Sangha varjitaha, do not be associated with any kind of a thought pattern of I and mine. I want this, I am the doer, and I want these results out of my actions. These are the cause for our difficulties, our sorrows to continue. So leave all that. Nirvairaha, be free of enmity with all public people in general. Sarvabhuteshu, yes samameti pandava. Such a person uh, comes to me. Samsara moolam hi kim asti chinta. So chinta is the cause for samsara. If you drop chinta, there is no samsara. There is no repetition. There are no repetitive thoughts. There are no repetitive emotions of grief, pain, suffering, and all that. That is what samsara is all about. विज्ञान महाविज्ञतमोऽस्ति को वा नार्या पिशाच्यान न च वंशितो यः का शृङ्खला प्राणभृतां हि नारी दिव्यं व्रतं किं च समस्तदैन्यम्. Again, he is bringing up the same topic of not having physical attachment to a woman, meaning not allowing the mind to be overwhelmed by delusion for the physical body, thinking that it is not only the woman. When you say nari, everything that is very attractive. We have something called the shiny object syndrome. We always are attracted to something shiny. It can be a laptop, it can be a mobile phone, it can be scrolling on Facebook, on everything that's very attractive to the mind. Nari is the word that's used for woman because women are basically attractive to see. You cannot really just pass by a woman without looking one more time because it is a very natural attraction. So, Vijnan Mahavijnatamo Asti. What is the greatest understanding you should have in life, or we should have in life? Vijnan Mahavijnatamaha. The greatest of all understandings is Nacha Vanchitaha Yaha, who is a very wise person, who is not deluded by Narya Pishachya. Pishacha means it is that state of mind which is just obsessed with something, obsessed with some object, obsessed with some situation, having obsessions in the mind, cravings, obsessive cravings for something, some situation, object, or person, and obsessing about woman or obsessing about man, which means the obsessed about the physical form, enjoying the physical form. A person who does not give room for that is a very wise person. Ka shrinkala pranabhritam. So what is the one that ties a pranabhrit? A pranabhrit is a human being, one who is bearing prana in him, or one who is living. What is the thing that can chain that person? Nari, meaning the physical attraction for woman. If in those days men used to go to Gurukula and study, so Adi Sankaracharya used to talk to boys and men. Nowadays, if Adi Sankaracharya was there, he would say vice versa also, because men and women go and study all these subjects. So he says, if you want to be focused on your studies, if you want to be focused on your sadhana, if you want to be focused on moksha, don't get sidetracked into something else. So don't get sidetracked into looking at a woman or looking at a man, because that very look can attract your attention, it can attract your emotions. You will get locked into something else which is not going to take you to the highest goal that you want to achieve. Ka shrinkala pranabhritam hi nari. Divyam vratam kim. What is the greatest vow? VOW. Vow. that anybody can take in life, samasta dainyam, being dina, or appearing as if we are weak, appearing as if we are like being humble. Dinata means like waiting for receiving from others. Samasta dainyam means appearing gentle, humble, with a lot of vinaya. Vinaya is a Sanskrit word for humility. Being very humble before everybody. So there's a great Mahatma who says, if you cannot, you look at the other person in your life as your equal. If you cannot look at that person as your equal, look at that person as somebody who is greater than you. So that will help us to keep the Vinaya Bhava, or the sense of humility, being humble towards everything. It is not only human beings, even towards dogs, animals, mountains, rivers. That humility will always help us to do the right thing. Humility will give respect. And when we respect something, we pay great attention and care to everything else. So, Divyam Vratam Kim, what is a great vow that we can observe? Samasta Dainyam, being Dina, being very humble towards everybody. ज्ञातुं न शक्यं च किमस्त सर्वैः योषिन्मनो यत् चरितं तदीयं कादुस्त्यजा सर्वजनैर्दुराशा विद्याविहीनः पशुरस्ति को वाम. So when Adi Shankaracharya Bhagavan is going on repeating something, it does not mean that he is running short of words or running short of ideas. It means it's something very, very important that we should know. Jnatum na shakyam. What is it that we can never try to know? It is not possible to know. Kimasti sarvaihi. Among many things in this world, many objects, many situations, and many persons, what is it that we can never know completely? Yoshin mano, the mind of a woman. So ideally the same thing he's saying. Don't get locked with desire for the physical body. Yoshin mano, the mind of a woman, yet charitam, or the conduct, what they plan to do, what they are going to do. They will be thinking something. When you observe them, you will think that they are thinking something and they are going to execute that plan. They may be thinking something. They may give a different expression on their face, but the action will be something different. It is not about criticizing. It is about the glory of the woman, the capacity of the woman. Woman is none other than Shakti. So the ability to contort our thinking is there. It is endowed in the woman. So don't go behind all that. Be very clear in your life. Be very focused on your goal. Keep your focus on the goal. Don't let the mind be distracted by something very beautiful that you see in another woman, and get carried away by their stories and by their thoughts and by their feelings and by their emotions and their beauty. Don't sidetrack your life into something else. This is not about women or men. This is about a very genuine advice we would give our children at home. Whenever we send them to school or send them to college, we want them not to be sidetracked into anything else. So that is what Bhagavan Sri Adi Shankaracharya is trying to say here. Yoshin mano yat charitam tadiyam. Like a father who advises his son, says, don't go behind all these things. Focus on your studies. Focus on your sadhana. Ka dustyaja. What is very difficult to give up for people? Sarva janaihi, for all kinds of people. Durasha, wrong expectations is very difficult to give up. Kadostyaja sarva janair durasha. Durasha means, asha means hope. Asha means expectation. But most of the problems we have in life, most of the situations where they're very problematic, are Because everybody has expectations. Everybody has expectations about the other person. As long as we have expectations about ourselves and we rise up to those expectations and we meet those expectations in our life, I expect that I will be good. I expect that I will be on time. I expect that I will do this work and I will complete this work. And we rise up to those expectations and fulfill our own expectations, there's going to be no problem in life. The problem comes when we have expectations about others. I expect that that person is going to be happy towards me. That person is going to talk to me cheerfully. I expect that that person who has not been talking so long will today call me and talk to me. I expect that that person will smile at me. We expect and that person does something else, and our expectations are belied and our life becomes miserable because of that. Ka dustyaja. What is very difficult to drop? Sarvajanaihi durasha. Wrong desires, wrong expectations, or unfounded hopes are very difficult to give up. So never entertain them in the first place. And who is equal to an animal? Vidya vihinaha pashubhis samanaha. One who does not have vidya, one who does not have education. Education in the modern sense means some some knowledge that we get through which we can get employment. But what is meant by vidya here is the knowledge of the self, the knowledge of who I am. If I don't know who I am, which means I'm equal to an animal. Even animals also do work. Morning, their work is they go around hunting, seeking food, they mate, they eat, and they sleep. We also do all those things. We seek food, we hunt, we don't hunt, we cook food. We hunt means we hunt for jobs. We go for a job, we earn money, we eat food, and then we sleep and we enjoy life. Life is passing away this way. Animals do not realize their self. They do not know what is it that is making them go about. What is it that is creating the hunger in them? What is it that is creating the thirst in them? What is it that is creating the proliferation of their species? What is it that is causing sleep? What is it that is causing them to wake up? They don't know all this, and they don't have the capacity or ability to sit down, contemplate, think, and realize. Only human beings have got that ability. And if we don't make use of that special ability that the human being has got to sit quietly, meditate, and think about who I am, reflect about what is this world, who is God, who am I, what is the connection between me, the world, and God, how do I attain the true self? If we don't do all this, if we don't strive for all this, then our life is equal to the life of an animal, says Sri Adi Shankaracharya Bhagavan. The next verse, Vasona Sangha Sahakair Videya Murkhaischa Nichaischa Khalaischa Papaihi Mumukshuna Kim Tvaritam Videyam Satsangatir Mamatesh Nir Mamatesha Bhaktihi Vasona Sangaha Sahakaihi Videya. We should know that with these kind of people, we should not have any vasa. Vasa means we should not live around these people. We should not entertain any companionship or company of these people. Who are those people? Murkha. Murkha means not an idiotic person. Murkha means a person who does not know the self or does not strive to know the self. Everybody cannot know the self. It requires mastery. It requires to be a master of one's own self to know the self. But we can always be a person who is striving to know the self. Murkhaihi. Don't be around those people, because murkha means people who talk that there is no God. People who entertain such beliefs, very, very tamasic beliefs or very ignorant beliefs about life, about the self, about what is the goal of life, don't be around those persons. Even if you have to be around those persons, just have minimal interactions with those people and focus on your sadhana. Nichaihi, people who are very easily given to doing ordinary activities like gossiping or talking ill of others or pulling others' legs, having making very ordinary fun at the expense of others, or doing very lowly kinds of activities, sinful activities. Nietzsche, sinful activities coming next. Nietzsche means ordinary thinking, very, something thinking about, enjoying from the senses, um, sensual pleasures, people who want to just all the time indulge in sensual pleasures. Murkha is the ignorant person who does not know the self or strive to know the self. Nietzsche is a person who is always having very ordinary pleasures in life. I love to see this, so I'm seeing. I love to hear this, so I'm hearing. No greater goal in life than just enjoying. Nietzsche. Khala, very cunning people. Avoid these people because these are the people, if you stay with them or you enjoy their company, or you may very soon be doing what they're all doing. They have the capacity to pull your mind out of you and make you do what they are doing. They will give their thoughts and their ideas and beliefs to you very easily. Kala is a very cunning person. Don't live with those people or don't be around those people. Papaihi, people who are given to a lot of sinful actions like killing, murdering, or you know, incendiary, like setting fire to other people's houses, buildings, properties, and then stealing. We know all those activities, sinful activities, terrorism, terrorizing others, papa. Don't be around those people. Don't join along with them. Just be free of their company. Don't live together with them. If you happen to be, there's no other way, then just be very alert and take the first exit route out of their company. Mumukshuna kim tvaritam vidheyam. So, what does the mumukshu need to know very fast, quickly in their life? Mumukshu is a person who desires to be free, and without that desire, freedom is not going to happen. So that mumukshu who desires to be free from what? Free from the bondage of the mind, bondage of the senses, bondage of the body, not being the master of the body, mind, and senses, but being bound by the body, mind, and senses, the pleasures, the thoughts, and beliefs, bound by thought, bound by emotions, bound by belief, bound by this world, bound by every Tom, Dick, and Harry that may pass our life and that may criticize us, complain about us, bound by everything, bound by situations. So, not being bound by that is a wanting to not be bound by all this is a mumukshu. What should that mumukshu know? He should always be in satsanga. Satsanga is, sat means truth. Sangha means united. United with the truth. When they're staying alone, being in meditation, or being with the company of noble literature or noble activities that take us on the path of truth, like japa, sadhana, tapas, and all that. That is satsangati. Satsangati is joining the group of people who are on the same path. Even in our modern days, when they say when you want to be fit, whatever our goal in life, they say you join a group of people who are having the same goal, they will help you. In the same way, to know the truth, to realize the truth, so that, and the truth will set you free. To realize the truth, be in satsangati, be in the group of people who are fellow seekers of truth. Satsangatihi nirmama, be free of the thought of I, and mine, mine, mine. I and mine are the two thoughts that can bind us to this world, bind us to the wheel of change from sorrow, delusion, and fear. It's called samsara. These two letters, I and mind. Nirmama means be free of that mindness, mind thought of people, objects, and situations. Then mamata isha bhaktihi. Be very devoted to the divine. Be devoted to Ishvara or Lord. In other words, Ishvara is also called prana. Prana is that life force which sustains everyone. When we are devoted to that life force through our thoughts, through our beliefs, through our emotions, and through our actions, even through pranayama or any aspect of yoga that we may practice, meditation, we are devoted to that divinity, Isha Bhakti. Then we will always be on the right path to realizing the truth. So we will see the 16th, 17th verse onwards from next week. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kasyit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasorma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. बोले श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. हरि ओम.